The Yankee and the Brit, yes, Yankee and the Brit. One is a genius, the other's a twit. On the radio, the beans have been spliced. The Yankee.
He's got his coffee, and so do I on a cigarette. Yankee and Brit, the RTM Radio Network.
I'll take coffee.
Really?
Hey, how'd you get in there? Hello there, Mr. Randall.
How you doing?
Hey!
Doing all right. You sneaking in the back way there.
I know. I told him I was plugging him in, and he was coming in the back door.
That's the only way in.
I'm not even going there.
Sneaking around the back door with them hoodlum friends of mine, you know.
Hey, where's the accent from?
Oh, I'm here in Millersburg, Pennsylvania.
He's from Pennsylvania.
How cool is that?
Kentucky. Well, I'm glad you said that.
How in the hell does somebody play music like you do and come from way up there in the frigid, frozen northern tundra of Pennsylvania?
Well, let me give you let me make the long story short story long. My dad spent 2 years in Texas before World War II when he was in the Army, and he kind of played a little bit of country in the Army band, and they did a lot of Texas swing, Bob Wills, and all that kind of stuff. And when he came back home and I grew up, that's all I ever heard. Big old 78s on a old record player, you know.
Did you, were you singing along and all that when you were little like that?
Well, yeah, I guess I'd say that. When I was 3, I tried to get his guitar off the piano to play it and broke it. And so he said, if you're really that serious, well, he started teaching me when I was 6, and I just sang along with everything he did. And I joined his band when I was 13 playing bass, and it just was a whole lot of fun.
You didn't have to go pick your own willow switch off the tree for that one?
No, I almost got my butt broke for that one, I'll tell you.
So what songs did you learn while you were young and in short trousers?
Oh, my gosh.
Come on, it wasn't that long ago.
San Antonio Rose was one of the ones that we sang all the time. Deep within my heart lies a melody. I love that song growing up.
See how Texas gets in your blood?
It does, man, let me tell you.
Yeah, I love it here. I would never leave this place.
Yeah, I'd like to join you one of these days.
So you started playing, how old were you when you started picking on the strings?
I was 6 when I started learning to play guitar, 6 string.
Right off the bat then, huh?
Yeah, and I'm still working on learning, but I think that's a work in progress if we are honest about it. We're always learning and hopefully getting better.
Yes.
But my dad was in a country band with a local DJ, kind of like radio things. In those days, the local DJ was the show. He did country music on a little local station, and he had some shows and concerts around the area. And his name was Hugh Clinton, and he sounded just like Jim Reeves. And I mean, you close your eyes, you'd have swore it was Jim Reeves.
Oh my God, Jim Reeves, unbelievable.
And he had a brother who played fiddle, and my dad played steel guitar, and his other brother was playing bass, big upright slap bass, you know. And he quit, and they said, "You want to play bass?" I said, "Hey, I don't know. I'll try, but I can't play that big thing, you know." So I got a regular bass guitar, and I joined the band, and that was the beginning of it, and went on from there, many things and many years.
Now, how long you been playing on your own now, or when did you actually kind of start as Bob Randall getting into your own thing?
I've tried to do that several times.
How's that working for you?
You hear that, huh? No, I've had some groups over the years, bands, and I've done some writing and a little bit of recording locally and things from time to time. And being in Pennsylvania, and no offense to the state, I love you people here in PA, but it is not conducive to good country music like you guys have down there. It's just not. It's not as many places to play. You don't have the opportunities. There's people here that love it. I mean, love it to death. But we have to hunt each other out.
Yeah, I can understand that. Do you get out of Pennsylvania a lot to play?
Oh, yeah. Actually, I toured with my dad's band. We had a bus. Actually, we bought Wayne Walters from Nashville. He was Connie Smith's neighbor. We bought his old bus and went out on the road for like 7 years. And we opened for people like, oh, my gosh, the Oak Ridge Boys, Ernest Tubb. I mean, the list goes on and on and on.
So that must be where you get that sound you have, because I've been trying to figure it out. It is kind of a southern Texas, kind of feel to it, I guess you want to say.
That's what Doc said too, and I guess we're kind of focusing a little bit on that with some of the stuff that we're recording there in the studio. I feel it. I sleep at the wheel. I love those guys. Actually, Ray and I grew up not too far from each other. He's a Pennsylvania boy too, believe it or not. And
who is?
Ray from the Sleep at the Wheel.
He is, really? I had no clue.
Yep. Yeah, he came from PA.
Wow.
Hopefully he's listening. Maybe he'll rub off on me. But no, I love the Texas music. I always have. Something about that two-step swing, just a lot of stuff I've written falls right into that, no matter what I try to do with it, where it goes. So I was talking to Linda about that tonight here. It seems like I keep drifting back the older I get to what I grew up on with my dad, that Bob Wills stuff, twin fiddles, and I mean, it just...
Yeah, but if that's what feels right, that's where you want to go, isn't it?
Exactly. Yep.
What's in your heart, Paul? Bob. Why did I call you Paul? Your name's Bob.
Because of Paul and Paula in here messing around with everybody.
I don't understand her kind of English as well as yours. Love you, Donna.
Yeah, it takes some getting used to for you guys, I think.
Yeah, no, I love it. I love that accent. It's.
Can you put on a good British accent?
Oh my gosh!
Come on, let's hear it.
I should be able to. I'm English.
Come on, governor.
Blimey, good weather we're having today.
Hey.
Jolly good. Jolly good,
Old chaps.
That's the Queen's English.
Yes.
No, the Queen's English we don't say on here.
Yeah, my grandmother was a Lloyd. She was from London. And my dad was Welsh and Irish, or Welsh and Scotch. So I'm from the British Isles, so I fit right in with you guys.
That's a combination.
Yeah, well, my mom was French and Dutch, so you want to talk about a real combination.
French and Dutch?
Yep. Pure French, pure Dutch on my mom's side, and English, Welsh, and Scotch English, Welsh, and Scotch on the other side.
At least you got some good English in you.
We got a little bit in there.
She must have given you a good booting with a wooden shoe once in a while.
Oh yeah, you got that.
So what? Do you play any other instruments now besides the bass and your guitar that you have?
Acoustic guitar, electric guitar, dobro, banjo, mandolin, and I try to play fiddle, but I just struggle with that. But I've recorded, in fact, I just recorded on a friend of mine's album with dobro. That's probably my second best instrument. But I played a lot of lead guitar, electric guitar. I got a bunch of Fender Kellys and a couple Strats and a few other sorted things. So.
Do you write your own songs?
I write all my own songs. I have over 200 in my catalog right now.
Wow, and where do you find your inspiration for your songs?
Life.
Yeah? Life.
My friends inspire me, some of the things they do, say. Somebody made a comment to me the other night about something, just one or two words, and I try to think. I got it written down here. It was weird. I put a post out on Facebook last week about burning bridges, and somebody said, you ought to write a song for that. So I sat down and wrote a song. It was the inspiration for it. It just came together.
Oh, please don't get no inspiration from the Yankee and the Brit show. You'll never know what that song might sound like.
Some of your comments, Donna, I could probably get a lot of inspiration from you.
I met a British woman. She was crazy as can be.
Donna was her name. Isn't that song? I met a woman. Donna was her name.
I've sung that song so many times over the years.
Hey, what was this instrument, Randy, you just tried to show me?
A dobro.
A dobro. Now, what was that? You clicked off it so quick.
That's the instrument you heard doing all the solo work in If You Got a Good Woman. That's a dobro.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna have to listen to that one again now.
That was played by Pat Severs, one of the best dobro players alive. He's played with Rich and Eddie Rabbitt, and Hank Jr., Anne Murray, Waylon. He was on the TV show National Star. I mean, this guy has been there, done that.
Ooh, I'm going to have a good listen to your song again in a bit. I like that song, by the way. Pretty good.
Yeah, I am so blessed to be working with Doc and the guys at the A-Team at the studio there, Nashville. These guys have, Dave Rowe, Johnny Cash's bass player, is playing bass on my stuff. That's who you're hearing. I don't know if you've ever heard of Dale Herr. He's a composer, electric guitar player. He's done everything from this music score to Johnny Cash Broadway production, Ring of Fire, to Crook and Chase show. I mean, you name it, TV shows, everything. And these guys are just phenomenal.
Wow, I haven't heard Crook and Chase's name for years.
Oh, I used to love that show. Oh, my gosh.
Are they still around?
Yeah, I actually saw a picture of them here not too long ago. She still looks as good as she did then.
Yeah, I used to watch that once at a great while. It's been a long time.
Yep.
What, oh, geez, what did I forget already?
So,
Yeah, well, hanging around with Donna, I can understand that.
oh, behave.
Too much McDonald's coffee, I think.
I can't wait to get together with you guys.
Yeah, you're ever down this way, of course, let us know you're around, man. Come in, we'll stick you on the show.
I'll come down just to see you guys hang out.
Yes.
That'll
I've been
stir
to
up.
San Antonio a few times. I've spent a couple weeks down in Austin. I love Austin. It's just a tough town to get to work in. So.
Doc says you're on the Grand Ole Opry.
Oh, he says I should be.
Oh, he says, and he's on the Grand Ole Opry. Oh, he must be talking about Crook or Chase. Crook.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, they are. I want to be. I think we're working on that.
Well, wouldn't that be cool?
It's funny because when I was 17, my brother and I jumped in my 62 Chevy and we drove to Nashville, 13 hours from home as kids. He's 16, I'm 17. We went down there, got a hotel room, stayed, and went to the Grand Ole Opry. And I said to my brother, we're sitting there at the show watching Kitty Wells was on stage at the time. That tells you how old I am. And I said, I'm going to be up on that stage someday. And he just laughed at me. Well, it's still my dream. So one of these days it's going to happen.
I know you said Kitty Wells, and I was going to say, come on, you're not that old.
Oh, yeah, we'll go. We won't go there.
Samo in the chat room just said, why do most British women sound like drag queens when they try to speak with an American accent? I don't know whether that's an insult.
I have no clue. I don't know a lot of drag queens, so I can't.
Good save, good save.
Linda Ray says we're going to love Burning Bridges. Is that a new song?
Yes.
So we don't have that one yet then.
Well, that one's not even going to be on this album. That's one I just wrote. So it's something that Doc's probably listening, I'm sure, and we'll have to talk about that down the road later on. But we've got the title song on the album is going to be Whiskey and Water, kind of a really cool. It's going to be in a 4/4 shuffle. I don't know who all's going to play on it. I know we've got some guest artists coming in. Doug Kershaw, the Raging Cajun's going to come in on my album. And I know, probably heard of Jim Horn, world famous saxophone player. He's going to be in on the session, along with all the other guys,
And what's the reason that people put water in whiskey? I know it sounds like a strange question, but my granddad always used to do it, and I never did ever ask him why he did it, but he just did.
Hell if I know. I drink it straight, but I know people that drink whiskey and water, and it came into the song because of the whiskey. The song, the chorus goes, the whiskey helps to ease the pain and get me through the day. The water just reminds me I'm trying to wash it all away. It's just, it came together. It came together with the song. The words just fit, and then that became the title. And a lot of times I'll write a song. I don't even know what the title's going to be. But I have the music and I have the words in my head. I'll get up at 3 o'clock in the morning, grab a piece of paper and write the whole song down. And maybe 2-3 days later, I'll come up with the title for it. It says what fits, and Whiskey and Water just fits.
Yeah, sounds good to me. I think it's a great combination.
That's going to be the title song. It's not recorded yet. The 3 you played already tonight are the 3 we did back in April. Fantastic session. I mean, it was just phenomenal working with these guys.
I think Hard Times is my favorite so far.
I did. Yeah, that's a funny story. Don't hold this against me, Doc. I love you. But I did that in a little basement studio here in Pennsylvania with 3 of my friends. There's nobody else. I mean, a friend of mine, local musician, played the harp on it and guitar, and a buddy of mine played bass on it, and I played all the acoustic, and my drummer from my band that I play with here, Todd, he played the drums, and that was it. There's nobody else on that song. It's just as simple, basic, and as straightforward as you can be. I have a video out of it, which you probably should check that out. That was done in a couple local establishments, and
I was going to ask you about studios. Do you have your own, or where do you do most of your recording at?
I don't. I'm recording with Doc at Sony now, but I have a friend up here I've known 30-some plus years who we played in bands together years ago. He's actually from New Jersey, where Doc's from, same area, just a little bit younger, but he has a studio. High-end quality. He's got some friends that are IT techs. I mean, these guys they can build stuff, You still there?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we're just listening.
My phone flashed something, and I thought I lost you. And he has a really good little studio there, and so we just go in and we hack around. You know, he's got all the good mics and the good equipment. The sound gear he's got is phenomenal. He's got $8,000 compressors and all kinds of crap in there. I don't understand, but he does a good job. And but I kind of have to produce my own stuff, and that's hard. And that's why I'm so happy to be working with Doc, because I mean he's just incredible. Producer of the Year, National Universe winner 3 years in a row. I mean, the guy just knows what he's doing. You know.
Now, where's the Sony studio that you go to?
It's in Nashville.
Is it? Okay.
Yep, that's right on Nashville. Music Row. It's one of the best studios around. Owen Bradley, you've heard of Owen Bradley?
Oh yeah.
Well, his son Bobby is the one that's the engineer on my stuff. So I mean, we're talking world-class people here. You know.
Certainly not Pennsylvania when you get there, is it?
No, it's a whole different story, man. I went down there and I got a lesson on how they do things.
Yeah, well.
4-11-5, I mean, I'm getting all, what the hell are they talking about, you know? That's an A, that's a G. No, we don't do it that way down here.
So do you go on stage?
Oh, I do. Every chance I get. I played last night, actually, for a horse. Yeah, played a show at a horse roundup group of a whole bunch of people with horses and stuff have a trail ride, and we went and did a 2-hour show for them last night.
Wow, and what's that like? Do you still get nervous?
What's that?
So you don't then?
I do it in my sleep. No, I got a little nervous when I got down to Nashville and got in the studio with the caliber of people that I was working with, and it's just like, but that blew over real quick when they put me in that booth and said, "Sing it," and I'm okay, here we go. And the nerves were gone, and I'm ready. I'm anxious. I can't wait to get back and get some more done. No, I perform as much as I can locally. I do a lot of solo shows now, which I didn't used to. Just acoustic. I enjoy it. It's different than having a full band behind you, you know. I did after I got back from Nashville, I wanted to do a fan appreciation night for all my fans up here. All 3 of them showed up. No, I'm just joking. But I did a show at a really nice venue up here, and I had some really good talented players, some guys that have toured with other musicians. Fiddle player was David Bromberg. I mean, these guys have played with some real pros, Tommy Cash Band. I'm trying to think. Trying to think doesn't work too good for me sometimes, but they've played with, I'll just give you a list of some of the people they've played with. Sweethearts of the Rodeo, Stella Parton, Dave and Sugar. They've toured over in England and Europe and Ireland, and with Tommy Cash, the country legend band. Steel guitar player Roy Peterman played with David Houston, Jeannie Pruitt, Billy Walker, Bo Bandy, you know, some of these people. I mean, these guys were pros that I got in for this show. I mean, real super pros. And
yeah, that's quite an impressive list.
Yeah, and I got fortunate to have these guys in my backyard here in Pennsylvania. And they're ready to go. They said, come on, let's put this show on the road. So I would love to if we could just get some places where we can get out and do it. I mean, it turned out really great. We sold out, packed house that night. And
nice.
It was great. I'm going to go back and do it again, probably August after the album's out. I'm looking at August 1st release on the album. It has been entered into the 60th Grammy Awards. The album has. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to hearing some new tunes, man. I like all this stuff. It's very good.
I
love the feel that it gives me. It's that, now that I've figured out, it's kind of got a Texas feel to it, I guess. And you had mentioned Jim Reeves, one of the first records I remember seeing in our house with Jim Reeves and Gail Garnett and, some people like that. And I guess it just takes me back a little bit to hear your sound. It's got that sound that I miss, I remember from being a kid.
That was my goal. And that was my goal before I met Doc. And then Doc just totally reinforced my goal. My goal for years has been to bring country music back to where it was, if that's possible. No offense to Nashville, love you guys, but if you're listening down there, you're not listening because you're going in the wrong direction with music. You wouldn't believe the amount of people who just come to me all the time. I love what you're doing. I like what the feel. It's like you said, the feel. Isn't that what music's about, though? It brings feelings about. I don't care whether you're crying or you're laughing or you're smiling or whatever. Or it's feelings. It's part of life.
Exactly.
Well,
And
I was only saying
it's
to
how
Randy
it,
that...
It's how it touches your soul, to me, that makes the
Exactly.
difference.
Yeah, in your songs, no matter which one we listen to, it always gives you, even your hard times song, you know, it's not happy song, but it gives you the happy feeling though, you know, the music itself gives you a happy feeling.
That's funny because that's been my most popular song up here. Everybody can relate to it because we all go through hard times. I don't care whether it's in work and marriage and in losing a job, not having enough income to pay your bills. We're all going through some hard times, you know, and people can relate to that.
Yeah, and I tell you what, I have had some of my best times in life when I've been digging at the bottom of my change tin to buy a loaf of bread. You know, I've actually had some of my best times while I've been skint, digging, counting the 2s and the 1 pennies to make up a 40 pence for a loaf of bread. You know, I love that part of life.
Yeah.
Have you got the show playing somewhere?
Locally, I've got a couple shows. I have a couple local fairs that we will be playing this summer. I have probably 2 or 3 full band shows yet this summer. I'm not doing as much right now. I'm really focusing on the studio, what I'm doing with this. I want to make sure I get everything right. And so I backed off on my bookings. I used to play probably 2 times a week. I'm doing maybe 4 or 5 times a month right now. June, I have absolutely nothing booked except the studio. I'm focusing 100% on that. Yeah, we've treaded on water on a couple of these songs we did in the studio with, you know, taking the chance and going out there and giving it that, you know, see how it works, you know.
Doc says that you're doing a duet with Becky Hobbs.
Yes, I am, and I'm so excited about that. It's unbelievable. I mean, she is just an incredible talent, and I am looking forward to that so much.
Is that Give Me a Second Chance? Is that the song?
No, we're actually doing another song that I wrote called Gone.
Gone. Okay, he mentioned that. I'm trying to catch up with.
Yeah, the confusion in the chat room was at when you very first come on, and I was chatting to you before, you know, before you actually came on. Doc said in the chat room, "Let Bob tell you what happened with this track in the studio. We walked on water with this one," and I wasn't sure what song he was talking about, and he was talking about the song "Give Me a Second Chance." So yes, what happened with that song?
Oh, well, it was incredible because they changed the key on me, which was the best thing they could have done because it sounds a lot better than where I had it. But it was just kind of, we weren't sure with the song if it was going to work the way we did it, and it's turned out it's probably my favorite. It had a different feel to it. I did something kind of different with keeping the whole verse in one key, one chord, and the Doc threw some little changes in there, flipped it around, and it just worked. I mean, that song is just phenomenal. What they did was incredible. And of course, with Doc and Bobby, you get the 2 of them together, and they can walk on water, I swear.
Well then. What? Let me step outside of the music realm here for a minute. What do you do?
Sure.
Do you have any hobbies or anything that you do?
Yeah, I used to hunt and fish a lot. I do shooting guns. I'm a big gun nut. Don't take offense out there, all you whatever kind of people you are.
Oh, you British.
Well, they're learning too. They need their guns over there, don't they?
Oh, I have mixed feelings about that. You know, I hear what you guys all say, you know, and you know, when people say, "Oh, we need our guns over here. We need our guns over here, and you guys need them over in England." And you know, my little thoughts in the back of my mind is, I've never, ever, ever had to go to the supermarket with a gun in my bag, whereas, you know, it seems like people over here can't even walk out the door to the shop without the gun. Yeah. So, you know, it's, and I went maybe 30 odd years in my life without ever even seeing a gun, and I think, and one of the times was at the airport, and the second time was over here. So it's you know, I seem to have grown up pretty well without them.
It's a changing world, Donna.
It's a culture as well, isn't it?
I grew up with a 6-string in one hand, a 6-gun in the other one. That's just the way I grew up, you know.
There's your next song.
It's really been hard actually for me to sort of accept that, you know, and people say it's our rights, and the way people go on shooting each other over here, you know, I think people haven't even earned that right to, people are just so stupid with them. I can't believe it. I'm sorry.
People are stupid with everything. You can't fix stupid is my favorite saying.
It's like the stick killing machine in people's hands, and then they're in trouble if they use it.
Yeah. Well, we got some good stuff coming up. Doug Kershaw is going to be playing on the album.
Really?
Horn. And it's just exciting.
Yeah, that's quite a list of people that you've got there. I think that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Are you getting a lot of airplay on different places with your music?
Yeah, believe it or not, I am surprised the amount we've got. I think the last count, Doc said there was 59 stations around the world right now that are playing my stuff. And that was a couple weeks ago, so I'm sure that count is up by now. I know there's a station in Texas that's playing it. And
Yes.
Now, how are you getting the music out there to these places? I mean, you don't literally go to these places anymore because a lot of places won't do that.
No. Doc has the connections. It's all through his production, through what he's doing with what he does and what he does best. He's an expert at making friends and making people aware of what's going on, and it's all through his production that this is out there. There's a Florida station that's been picking up on it too. Sam Watkins, Florida, they've been picking up playing it, and there's a few that I've talked to, but most of it is a direct result of what Doc's been doing for me, and I appreciate it so much.
Yeah, I always, as when I was in radio in the '80s. On terrestrial radio, as they like to call it now.
Yeah.
I call it real radio, but it was then. Now it's not. I can't stand radio anymore, the way everything's so formatted and so many commercials and we got to pay the bills and blah, blah, blah. But, people used to come to the station and say, hey, could you play my song and blah, blah, blah. And, I always wondered how nowadays, without going through so many formal channels, if there was a way that, it was easy enough to get your music played, but it doesn't sound like it's as easy as it used to be.
We used to go to the station, take a record and a guitar and have you play live, and then they put your stuff on the air. I mean, it just don't happen anymore.
Yeah, I don't know what happened with that. I don't know why.
It's a shame. It took some of the connection between the artist and the fan away. Everything has just become so sterile anymore.
And that would be so cool if you was working at a station and someone turned up with their guitar. That would just be amazing. That would be fantastic.
One thing that I do like is like NPR, which a lot of people don't care for NPR, but they have what they call, what is that, the tiny studio or something like that?
Yeah, I've heard about that.
They have people come in live and just start playing, and some of the music is, and there are a lot of unknowns, and some are famous, but they come in and they just play, and the sound is absolutely fantastic, and you get to see the music being made live. You actually, and I prefer live music to watch a band in the studio or something, because you can see their faces, you can see their feeling while they're playing the music. You can actually feel it, a lot better that way.
I've found a terrific market locally with college radio stations.
Really?
Believe it or not, they are very receptive to live music. I've gone into several different ones here locally and gone and done a half-hour show,
I would have figured with the way kids are today that, country music especially wouldn't be that acceptable in a lot of colleges.
Well, good music's acceptable anywhere.
Well, yes, there's a good point. You're right.
And if you're producing good music, I don't care what title you put on it. You can call it water. I don't care. It's called whatever you want. If it's good, people will accept it. And that was been Doc's and my goal with this album, was that we want to put out good music that people will listen to,
Well, yours is definitely good. I'll give you that.
Well, thank you.
Oh, we love it. Are you kidding me? That's great. I'm so glad we come across you. We're always looking for new music to play. We've got so many independents that have come through here. I don't know, do you consider yourself an independent artist?
Well, I guess I was until I signed a contract with Doc.
Yeah, well, okay, you can look at it that way, I guess.
I'm now on Mega International Records, so I gotta work for my people there. So, but independently, I do a lot on my own. Don't get me wrong. I'm out constantly finding new avenues to get country music into,
Yeah, we have so many independent artists that come through here, and the music is just, we have not had one yet that the music was terrible, bad, or the person themselves was terrible or bad. Everybody's been great, just like you. Everybody's got a good attitude about what they're doing, and they're happy with what they're doing. They're very comfortable with it.
Music has a common thread through our fiber as human beings. I've said this to someone the other week. You can go back as primitive as you can to native people, they had music. They had a drum. They had a beat. There was something about the beat of your heart, the beat of music. It all threads together as part of life. I can't see life without music. I really can't. I don't know how it could exist, you know.
I agree, 100%.
Well, Randy, you've not asked him your famous question.
What does he drive?
Yeah.
What do you drive?
I drive a Chevy pickup truck and a Harley Davidson.
Oh, well, the bike we can accept, but I don't know about that truck thing.
Oh.
Don't tell me you're a Ford man.
Absolutely. All the way, baby.
Fix or repair daily.
I always say found on the road dead, but whatever. There's also another one I made up, forever on the road driving, but, you know, a lot of people don't want to buy that one.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, I grew up with them. My first truck I actually had that I never got to drive was a 55 Ford pickup.
Okay, that was cool.
It was.
The old cars and trucks, I don't care what brand they are, they're cool, you know.
That's what I was telling Donna the other day and a couple other people. You know, I don't care if they're Dodge, Chevy, GMC, whatever they are. If they were older, they were all built well and run well and good-looking style. You know, they had manliness to them, and all the manliness is gone out of everything now. I can't stand the looks.
For the men, when you see these guys in rompers, that is such a joke. Oh man, I almost threw up when I saw that.
Well, isn't that special?
Uh-oh, did I silence Donna?
I know, I'm thinking rompers. You know, isn't a romper like what a baby wears?
Yeah, exactly. And they have them for men. Well, I won't call them men. They have them for the male version of the human species, but I'm sorry, I can't accept it.
Oh my gosh. Look at this on Google. See, you hadn't silenced me. I was just looking on Google. Oh my gosh, Randy, I am going to divorce you if you ever will.
I put the image in your brain that you didn't want to see.
Oh my God.
Some things you just can't unsee as well.
Give me a pair of Wranglers or a pair of Carhartts or something, and I'm happy.
Oh, a nice pair of bibbed Carhartts. Now we're talking.
Yeah.
Those are Yankee clothes right there.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I'm from Ohio. I was born and raised in Northeast Ohio, just about half in Ashtabula, if you know where it is.
Okay. Yeah.
And, you know, hell, we never went outside in the wintertime without Carhartts on. You couldn't survive the cold.
Yep. Yeah.
A
I've been
romper.
in Ohio lots of times.
I got your romper right here.
Oh, you two are crazy. I love it.
Hey, I love to see a man in a pair of jeans. Oh my gosh. Oh.
He's going to think you're nuts.
You're girl in tight-fitting jeans, too. Remember the song?
Tight-fitting jeans.
Oh, I'm sure she remembers.
Oh, yes.
Now, you have a Facebook page, right?
I do. Yeah.
Oh, speaking of Facebook, I wanted to ask you, do you do any live Facebook at all?
No, I try not to.
And what do you think about the others that do?
Oh, I think it's great. I don't have the patience to sit down and put a thing in front of me and make sure I look right and play a song that I know it isn't going to sound the way I want it to sound because it's coming through a little tiny speaker, and I'm going to record it and have somebody play it like you guys do. You know, it sounds a whole lot better.
Well, I wondered about that because there's some guys that have been hooking up through their systems, their mixing boards and stuff and broadcasting, and it comes out pretty nice.
It does, yeah, if you have the time to do it. I have a lot going on in my life right now, and it just, for me to sit down and do that, I'd rather sit down and write a song. I mean, it just, and no offense to it, I think it's great, and if it works for them, it's absolutely wonderful. And who knows, maybe someday I might try it.
You don't think there's any way it could hurt their chances of, getting out there more, or do you think it helps in that respect?
I honestly don't think that any exposure you get can hurt you unless it's done very badly. If there's amount of quality to it, I think it helps you. There's a lot of open mics in my area where a guy will go in and host an open mic for 2 or 3 hours, and different musicians get up and play and stuff. And I support several of them. I don't support all of them because the quality is not there. There's a couple that are done very professionally, and I will support them. Actually, I'm one of their regulars,
Right.
And I built quite a following in my own area here through that. But I do not go to every Tom, Dick, and Harry that's got a microphone up on and a speaker on a pole and calling it an open mic and people get up that just have no talent. And then no offense, but I think if you're going to go out to hear music, you want to hear the best you can,
Well, yeah, I agree. I mean, if I hear it, I want to hear it nice. There's a lot of songs that I won't play for people on here because, some people send us ones that are done on Facebook and they just sound terrible.
Yeah. And not to say that the person doesn't have talent or can't sing. It's just the quality of what comes out of a poor PA system or a poorly set up sound system that just doesn't make it sound good. So
exactly. Yeah. So I just, we just won't play them if they sound too bad because it, not only does it make them look bad, it doesn't sound good on us really because, I want everybody to enjoy what they hear.
Exactly. It's a reflection on you. And in my case, I have a whole other situation now. I reflect on Doc and on the studio and everybody at Mega International and Sony. I mean, I've got a whole new family of people that I am affecting their lives and their livelihood well as my own. And I have to keep that in mind and have respect for that,
Now, like I was saying, you have a Facebook page. Do you have a web page at all?
I have a website. It's bobscountrymusic.com. It's got my history on there, my background, bio. Usually I try to keep it updated. I have a very good friend who developed it for me. She's a pro at doing that type of thing. She develops it for colleges and stuff. And I need to be a little bit more diligent as far as getting her updates on my schedule. But right now there's nothing to put on for June anyway. But my stuff that I've recorded up here is for sale on there and downloads and everything. So
what do you see yourself doing in maybe, let's say, 5 years' time?
Wow. Well, that's a loaded question that I just asked somebody else.
Your turn.
My turn. Yeah, now step up and be a man, huh? Well, I would like to tour again. I know that sounds crazy as it is to be out on the road with a bus and a band. And my good friend Rick Buck, who was with Tommy Cash Band, Country Legends, who I hope is listening tonight, gave me some good advice. He says, try and get out there with another band, somebody that's on the road, hook up and go out and do a few songs and, get out there and get the exposure, and that's kind of where I'm looking to go in the next 6 months to a year. As far as where I go with my recordings, I'm certainly hoping to do another one with Doc after we get this one out and get it on the top of the charts, get our Grammy this year, and go from there. I'm not done in any way, shape, or form. I've got like 175 more songs to record, so
wow.
we got to do.
Now, what do you mean? Who do you mean when you say the charts? Which charts exactly are you referring to? Because I see so many country music charts now popping up on all these internet stations and things. There a particular set you're aiming for?
There's charts that you could wipe your butt with. I'm sorry, but
no, I agree. There's too many of them. I think it's ridiculous.
Yeah. Now, I want to be on, like Billboard, somewhere, somebody that's got credibility, that's got a track record. When I say charts, I don't mean specifically charts. I mean just getting yourself out there, getting up in the popularity, where people know who you are, coming to hear your shows. I mean, that's the goal, is to get out there and do live performances and get an audience, that comes and wants to hear what you have to sing or get to know you. I like to meet. I know it sounds crazy, but every time I do a show, I purposely walk around that room and I shake hands with every person that's in that room. I want them to know me, that I'm real. I'm not trying to be somebody I'm not. I just like to be friends with them,
I think that's the difference between you and what they call these superstars, if you will, for lack of a better term.
Can we change that? Maybe I could be a superstar and still be me.
As long as you don't act like one.
I don't want to act like one, trust me.
No, I've met, I lived outside of Nashville for a while, and I met a lot of people before they were famous back in the 80s. Vince Gill, I run into Shania Twain when she was playing at, I forget what it was called, Wagon Wheel or something like that. I can't even remember, but, they were all very nice people, but and Vince Gill seems to still be a pretty nice guy. But I've seen some of them that they just get this attitude about themselves, and it's like, I'm not interested in that. I want you to sing music and enjoy it and make me feel good and not act like you're God or somebody, because you're no different than the rest of us, really.
Yeah, I see that in some of the younger talent that is coming out of Nashville right now. Now, there are a few that are just down to earth, and maybe they're on the rising side of the star like I am right now as far as getting known, but that are genuine, down to earth and real. In fact, I've had several that have invited me when I'm down in town next time. I usually go hit Bobby's Idol Hour and hang out with Sam there, Sam Cooper. But I've got a couple other people. Sarah Simpson is a new rising artist in Nashville. Has invited me to come down and join her on stage when I'm in town. And then I got a Mark Allen Cash, which is Johnny Cash's nephew. They've invited me out to the Storyteller Museum out in Bonacqua
Wow.
to do a few shows at Johnny Cash's, or do a few songs out there. So I was there in December with some friends, Gary Schwartz and Rick Buck and a bunch of guys that played with Tommy Cash, and we did a few songs out there then, and they invited me back, and so I'm excited about that. I sat in Johnny Cash's chair. That was cool.
Yeah, I would be too.
Wow.
That'd be great.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, there's a lot of good. I mean, Tommy and Mark and those guys, they're just as down to earth as anybody you'd ever want to meet, and they've stayed that way, you know. And you don't have to be an a-hole, you know, about it. You can be just who you are, you know, and people will love you for it if you're genuine, you know.
Yeah, humble strikes me as a decent word. Just kind of stay humble, you know. I mean, there's nothing wrong with being proud of your music, and you know, and you have to know you're doing good. You have to feel comfortable with yourself. But you know, why can't you stay humble and just remember the people that made you who you are?
Yeah, I love that song. It's about staying humble and kind, and that's something I pray for every day, that I can keep that humbleness and that kindness, and it's just been a part of my life. I was brought up that way. It's the way my mom is. She's 92. She came to my show, and I had her come up and sing a song with me.
Wow.
Yeah, it was just a phenomenal night. I don't think there was a dry eye in the place that night when she came up on stage and sang with me.
That's awesome.
It was phenomenal.
Who would think that it would be such hard work to stay normal?
Yeah, you're right. It is. I mean, you have to work at it. You got to be. I mean, that's one of the things I loved about Doc when I met him. He is just this genuine, down to earth, humble guy that you'd want to just sit and have coffee with. You know, I mean, as famous as he is, he's real. You know, and that's the way what I pray to be.
So, other than your Building Bridges song, are you writing any songs at the moment?
Oh yes, I wrote 2 this week.
Ah.
Along with all the other things that I've got working on my schedule, and it's been incredible. I wrote one actually called "No Place I'd Rather Be," and the chorus goes kind of like, "Waking up early Sunday morning with you lying next to me, see your face aglow, and I surely know there ain't no place that I'd rather be." You know, one that I just wrote this week, and another one I wrote is the Burning Bridges song. You know. So it comes to me. I'm actually co-writing a song with a friend of mine. Actually, she was down with me to meet and met Doc, Sarah, and we're writing a song called "Cheap Money."
Is there such a thing?
Well, that's the whole point. Money is cheap. I mean, it's almost worthless today. You know.
Well, if you look at it that way, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, what's $1 buy? You know, you can't buy a gallon of gas. You know. I
think it's pretty much destroying everything, in my opinion.
It is, yeah. But I don't want to get into politics. That's one thing I don't do. I don't discuss politics and religion. I know what I believe. I know what I know. But I don't try to cram it down other people's throat. That's their choice, and I respect that. You know.
Paul Marcil's in the chat. We had him on the show last week. He says, "This guy is truly down to earth. That's how I treat my fans. So cool." See, there's more of your kind out there.
I'm glad to hear that.
Well, we're not going to keep you too much longer. I'm sure you got things to do, but I got a few questions I'd like to ask you before we let you go.
I'm having a ball. You can keep me as long as you want.
Hey, we'll hold you to that visit. You know, if you ever come to Texas, North Texas, we're about 60 miles north of Dallas. You come over and you can cook my dinner for me, and you can sing, and I might make you a cup of British tea.
Do you want me to rub your feet too?
Oh no! Now you're just being disgusting.
You guys are all right.
I won't even do that.
Hey, I didn't say I would. I just said.
Hey, you offered. We have to take your first answer.
If you can get that close to him, good luck.
Hey, are you sleeping on the couch tonight or what?
He is.
That's the only place I can get any sleep.
So go ahead and hit me with your questions.
Okay. And don't you slip in any of your...
I will not slip in any questions.
Bet. Okay, number 1, what's your favorite word?
Oh, my goodness. My favorite word? I've never been asked that question in my life.
Well, now's your chance to think about it. Silence fills the room.
I should have warned him about these questions, shouldn't I?
So, one of my favorite words is either give or giving. I like to give. I just think it's so important to give, not to receive. You know, I had a wonderful experience today. I was stopped in for a coffee, and there was a World War II veteran on cane walking through the door. I held the door open for him and went in, and I just felt the need to buy him a cup of coffee. I bought him his coffee, and what it did for me was 10 times more than I'm sure what it did for him, although we sat and talked for a few minutes. And I think you have to give, and that's why I like what I like about with my music. I want to give back to people, you know, what music has given to me over these years.
Second question, what's your least favorite word?
Hate.
Number 3, what turns you on?
Rubbing Donna's feet. Rubbing my feet. I know this answer.
What turns me on? Let's see. Does Shania Twain count? No, I'm just joking. The sound of a well-tuned guitar. I know that sounds as stupid as anything you could say.
No, it doesn't.
If I hear a well-tuned guitar, I don't care if it's a Martin, Taylor, what it is, Fender or Gibson. If it sounds good, that just inspires me.
Doesn't sound bad at all. We had somebody not too long ago said their favorite sound was the steel guitar.
Yeah, well, that's probably my second favorite.
What sound do you love?
Steel guitar.
What sound do you hate?
You led me right into that. What do I hate?
What sound do you hate?
Oh, boy, you're tough.
Oh, did I miss one?
Okay. Oh, you got a program. Oh, okay, I see this. Oh, we got it all laid out.
Oh, yeah.
What sound do I hate? I hate to hear someone cry.
Yeah, I missed one here. What turns you off?
Oh, easy one. Easy one. What turns me off is people who think they're better than somebody else.
Thank you. I couldn't agree more. All right, number 7.
But we all put our pants on the same way, one leg at a time.
Exactly.
It all comes out the same hole.
Well, stop, Donna. I knew you were going there after your part.
What's your favorite curse word?
Shit.
Number 8. What profession other than yours would you like to attempt?
Wow. Well, I always wanted to fly an airplane.
There you go. What profession would you not like to do?
Garbage truck.
Okay. Number 10, the last one. This is always the toughest one. If heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
Welcome, my son.
See, it wasn't tough at all, was it?
No.
That's it. That's all I got.
Well, that's all you got?
That's it.
Yeah, we're going to cut you
We won't let Donna ask you any questions because hers are on a different scale altogether.
Yeah, I asked someone the other week, what would you do if you woke up with a vagina tomorrow? And the guy said, this was Billy Lord, if any Billy Lord fans are out there. He said he would go and have a Brazilian wax just to see if it hurts.
You are not right, girl.
Neither is he. Of all the things that you could do, you wake up the next morning with a vagina and you want to go and get some pain.
Oh, my gosh.
You had to go there. You had to go there, didn't you?
She did, yeah, I knew.
I knew she would.
It's digressing fast. Can we go back to talking about some music?
What do you have?
Never asked me who my favorite artist was, who my favorite writer was. You never asked me any of those questions.
Well, go on then. Who's your favorite writer? You better have an answer.
Me?
I see where this is going.
Who's my favorite artist? Merle Haggard. I have been a Hag fan all my life. I do several of his songs in my shows. I just think he just was phenomenal. I love a lot of other artists, but everybody that knows me knows the Hag's my favorite.
That's a good deal right there. That's all good music.
Yeah.
I think we all grew up with Haggard in our music.
I don't know how many 8-track tapes I wore out, then cassette tapes I wore out of Merle Haggard riding down the road in our bus when we tour, and I mean that's all it was on. I mean, just constantly Merle Haggard.
Or how many pencils you went through rewinding those cassettes.
Even that too.
What did you listen to when you were a teenager? Did you have any like weird, you know?
Yeah, I liked Herman's Hermits, believe it or not. I wasn't much of a Beatles fan or Rolling Stones. I you know, kind of I'd rather go listen to Johnny Cash or somebody else that had some music. But I did like some of the bands from those days. The Rascals, I went to see them live. I actually went to see Jimi Hendrix live just because it was an experience, and it's something that you can't. I mean, there's no way you can do that today because he's dead. You know, I mean, some of these things that I had the chance to do when I was growing up as a kid, it's just those things don't exist anymore. So
I would have just been in seventh heaven to be able to just once see Hendrix.
Yeah, met Eric Clapton when he was with Cream. What a great guy! The whole band. We were touring in a station wagon, a bunch of young kids with a kind of a, I don't know. We were, I guess you'd say, a rock band. We did all kinds of different stuff, but we were on our way out the turnpike going to West Virginia because my lead singer was from Charleston, West Virginia. And we stopped at a Howard Johnson on the PA Turnpike, and there sat Eric Clapton, Jack Bruce, and Junior Baker. So we had breakfast together. How
was that for a surprise?
Oh, my God. That was a trip, I'll tell you what. It's just the things that you do in life, you know. And the drummer I had in that band, we had a great band. He was from the original drummer from the Velvet Underground. I mean, I had a really talented, we actually had signed a contract with Motown Records, and then the band broke up, and that happens a lot. So that's why I'm solo.
Well, I think you're doing a hell of a job, man. It sounds awful good on this end.
Well, thank you. I want to keep it real. I want to write music that people can relate to. It's about everyday life. I have a song that it's not a song, it's a recitation that I did about an old man, and I want to record it. I'm just haven't found the music to play behind it. Everybody that's read it cries. I mean, it just is so touching, and I want to get it out. It's sitting right in front of me now, and it's one of those things that you want to do, and you just haven't had a chance to do, and I got to do it before I die. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And it's something that I'm working on. It's just a story about life. You know, and that's all I can say about my music. It's about life, you know, good, bad, indifferent. It doesn't matter. I mean, we all have our ups and downs. We have our breakups. We have our joys. Babies are born, you know, life goes on. People get married, see kids graduate. I mean, there's just so many things. We get a new job. We're excited about it. You know, there's so much great things in life that we miss because we focus on all the bad things that are happening around us, you know.
Oh, I do know all too well.
Yeah.
Well, we're not going to keep you anymore. We got a couple of your tunes left to play yet, so we're going to get those on. But thank you very much for your time. It's been great, man. You're a great man. Your music is just fantastic. And
well, thank you.
You can come by anytime you want. Call us out of the blue on a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It doesn't make any difference. We're here every weekend, regardless.
None of that 3 o'clock in the morning heavy breathing, though. I know it's you.
Be asleep. No, I might just pop in on you guys one of these days. Don't be surprised. So
just warn us in advance so we make sure we're here.
I thought you were going to say so you make sure you're not there.
No, we're on the road a lot during the week doing sign work and stuff. So okay. So sometimes we're out. It's just we usually leave about 9 o'clock in the morning. We're not back till 4, 5, 6 o'clock. But just give us a little heads up, and we will be more than glad to have you here.
Hey, sounds like a plan.
All right, thank you very much.
Again. Thank you guys so much.
Okay, you take care and good luck.
Thanks. Good night.
Bye, and bye.
Trains, trucks, and good old country music with the Yanki and the Brit on RTM Radio.